Hello guys, welcome again to my channel. Today let's solve this math challenge which read x plus y is equals to 1 and x times y is equals to 1, and we're looking for the possible value for x and y. So please, if you are new here, kindly subscribe to this channel, and by the time you're done subscribing, please don't forget to turn on the notification button so that you get notified whenever I drop videos on mathematics. So let's provide a solution to this. So I'm going to show you my own method of solving this. So if you know any other method, please you can drop that on the comment section below. And if my answer is also correct or my method is correct, you can drop that on the comment section below. And if my method is not still correct, you can also kindly drop that on the comment section below. So let's provide a solution to this. So I'll say solution. So having done this, we are having x plus y equals to 1. Okay, and we're having x times y equals to 1. So we can call this one equation 1. We can call this one equation 2. Okay, haven't done this. So the next thing we can simply do, again is by making x the subject formula at equation 1. So if we make x the subject formula at equation 1, we're going to have x is equals to 1 minus y. Okay, so at this junction, what are we simply going to do? We are going to substitute this value of x into equation 2. So wherever you see x, we are putting 1 minus y. So if we do that, we are having this to be a y, open bracket, 1 minus y, close bracket, is equals to 1. So if we open the brackets, we are having y minus y squared is equals to 1. Okay, in order for us to remove the negative value of y squared, we can bring all the equation to the right hand side, all these values to the right hand side of the equation. So if we should do that, we are arriving at y squared minus y plus 1 is equals to 0. So we can call this one equation. Let's call this one equation 3. Okay, so this is more or less like a quadratic equation now. So we are going to do the same thing for x. So at this point, we are going to make y the subject formula here. So if we should do that, we can say x plus y is equals to 1, right? So making y the subject formula, we can say y is equals to 1 minus x. Okay, so since we've done this, recall we said x times y is also equals to 1. So we are going to, wherever we see y, we are going to substitute 1 minus x. So if we do that, we're having x, open bracket, 1 minus x, close bracket, is equals to 1. So if we should break in the brackets or break open the brackets, we are going to have x minus x squared is equals to 1. So since we've done this, in order for us to remove this negative value in x squared is by bringing the whole of this to the right hand side of the equation, like what we did here. So if we should apply the same principle here, we are going to arrive at x squared minus x plus 1 is equals to 0. So this is what we are now having. So I can call this one the fourth equation. So this, we are having a 2 quadratic equation and we are having a 2 linear equation. So now, what are we simply going to do with all this? So from here, we can find the value of y. From here, we can find the value of x. Okay, since we are now having a quadratic equation on equation 3 and 4, quadratic equation normally can be solved using 3 methods. One of the methods are the factorization method, the second method is the completely the square method, and the third method is the formula method. Okay, for the sake of simplicity, I'm going to apply the formula method, which says x is equals to minus b plus or minus the root of b squared, okay, b squared minus 4ac over 2a. So this is what we are now having for x. So if we should do the same thing for y, we arrive at y is equals to minus b plus or minus the root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. So we are going to solve first for value of x, then we'll move further to solve for values of y. So this is what we're now having for x. So since we want to apply the formula method, the first thing to do is to bring out the coefficients of each of them. So the coefficient of x squared, so we can say a is equals to 1, our b is equals to minus 1, and our constant c is equals to 1. So we can easily apply the formula method, which is x is equals to minus b plus or minus the root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Okay, so from here, if we apply the formula method here, so we can say our x is equals to, where's your b? Your b is minus 1, so minus open bracket minus 1 close bracket plus or minus the root of minus 1 all square minus, what is your 4 times your a 1 times your c 1 over 2 times your a 1. Okay, having done this, we are having x is equals to minus is going to turn to plus. We are having 1 and plus or minus the root of this one is going to turn 1, and 4 times 1 is going to give us 4. So I'm having minus 4, okay, over 2. Okay, so from here we can say our x is equals to 1 plus or minus the root 1 minus 3 is going to give us, sorry, 1 minus 4 is going to give us minus 3 over 2. Okay, over 2. So from here we can say our x1 is equals to 1 plus the root of minus 3 over 2, okay, and x2 is equals to 1 minus root of minus 3 over 2. Okay, so this is what we are now having. So from here, root of minus 3 is equals to I root 3. So where your I represents your imaginary number, so wherever we see minus root 3, we are putting I root 3. So if we should do that, we can see our x1 is equals to 1 plus I root 3, okay, over 2, and our x2 is equals to 1 minus I root 3 over 2. So these are your values for x1 and x2. So let's solve further for y1 and y2. So since our y is also in the form of quadratic equation, we are still going to apply the formula method, which says our y now is now equals to minus b plus or minus the root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Okay, so from here, recall, we say our a from here is 1, our b is equals to minus 1, our c is equals to 1. So wherever we see a, we put the value of 1 there. Wherever we see b, we put minus 1 there. And wherever we see c, we put 1 there also. So we can say our y is equals to minus, it's minus sign, minus 1 close bracket plus or minus the root, what is a b, minus 1 all square minus 4 times 1 over 2 times 1. So from here, we can say our y is also equals to 1 plus or minus the root of 1 minus 4 over 2. Okay, so we can say y is equals to 1 plus or minus the root 1 minus 4 is going to give us minus 3 over 2. And recall, I said root of minus 3 is also equals to I root 3, where your I represents your imaginary number or imaginary number. So we can say y is equals to 1 plus or minus I root 3 over 2. Okay, so from here we can say our y1 is equals to 1 plus I root 3. Now y2 is equals to over 2 rather. Okay, then our y2 is equals to 1 minus I root 3 over 2. So these are my values for my y1 and y2. And recall we said our x1 is also equals to 1 plus I root 3 over 2, and x2 is equals to 1 minus I root 3 over 2. So since we've gotten the values for x, so what are we going to do next? The next thing we are going to do is to substitute the value of x into our equation to see whether they are correct. So, but the only thing we are going to do while substituting all these values into our equation is that we are going to swap it up. In other words, if we pick y1, we are going to pick s2. If we pick x1, we are going to pick y2. So the equation reads x plus 1 is equals to 1 and x plus y is equals to 1 and x times y is equals to 1. So let's try the sum of x and y first. So your x1 1 plus I root 3 over 2, your y2 1 minus I root 3 over 2. So if you want to substitute this value in, we are going to swap the values. So we can say 1 plus I root 3 over 2, okay, plus your y2 1 minus I root 3 over 2, okay, equals to known, which is my 1, okay. So from here, if we easily look for the LCM of both sides, we are going to have 1 plus I root 3 plus 1 minus I root 3 over 2 equals to unknown 1. Okay, so from here and here, they are going to cancel off because we're having a positive here, we're having a negative here. So they are going to go. 1 plus 1 is going to give us 2. So we're having 2 over 2 is equals to unknown 1. So if you divide 2 here, it's going to give us 1. So 1 is equals to 1. So this first, the value of x and y are correct. So let's move on to the product of x and y. The product of x and y using the same value of x1 and y2. So if we should do the same thing, here, so we're having x times y is equals to 1. So we are picking x1. Our x1 is equals to 1 plus I root 3 over 2, and our y2 is equals to 1 minus I root 3 over 2. So if we should do that, we are having 1 plus I root 3 over 2, okay, times, can put a bracket here, times 1 minus I root 3 over 2 is equals to unknown 1. Okay, so if we should break this bracket, what are we going to arrive at? We are going to arrive at 1 minus I square root 3 all square over 4 equals to unknown my 1. So from here, I'm going to have 1. Okay, this is 1 minus I square. So this one is going to turn to 3 times 3 over 4 is equals to unknown 1. Okay, so should demarcate this side, So haven't done this. So I'm going to have 1 minus 3i square is equals to 1 over 4. Okay, where my I square is equals to minus 1. So my I square is equals to minus 1. So I can put 1 minus 3 times minus 1 close bracket over 4 equals to unknown 1. Automatically we are going to have 1 plus 3 over 4 equals to 1. So if they should divide both sides, we are having 1 is equals to 1. So the value of x and y in this challenge to me is correct. But to you, if it's not correct, drop that on the comment section below. Bye for now. God bless you. Jesus loves you, and see you in my subsequent video. Please don't forget to hit on the thumbs up button. Bye bye.